Well, at least he's going to the place he finds a little bit peaceful to think about what the fuck just happened. I bolted away from the school as fast as I could, and I ran and ran all the way to the park. Only when I felt like I was about to suffocate did I stop. Oh my god. My lungs were in dire need of oxygen. As I gasped for breath, I took a quick look around the park. There was no one around. Good. No one there I was afraid of either. Neither Shogun nor Yua were anywhere to be seen. Relieved, I tried to catch my breath. Huh. Good. I'm all by myself. It was almost evening. The sky's blue was slowly turning orange with the twilight. Compared to the insanity at school that had felt so unreal, this park was completely quiet, just as it always was. Thank God. The incident from before had ended as a failed suicide. ISA had then been taken away on an ambulance, but I had no way of knowing what happened after that. Dude, that whole thing, after going through all that, I gave up on searching for Remy and came here to the park instead. Dude, what do you do after that? You know what I mean? Oh no, don't even look at it. She's gone. She was on the flower bed. It's fine. The scene from only a few minutes ago was engraved in my mind. Back then, when Isa's body came crashing down, I'd been convinced that nothing could have saved her. But she had been saved. I didn't know how exactly, but I at least knew she wasn't dead. She had been breathing, virtually unharmed too. Just a little head wound. Under normal circumstances, she would have absolutely died. The thing that saved her was a total miracle. She'd fallen on top of the tender soil of a flower bed. Yeah, she's okay. See, just a little head wound. It's okay. Well, her back probably fucking hurts like hell too, but still. Something that was physically impossible. It was physically impossible for ISA to have fallen on top of a flower bed. Because there hadn't been a flower bed there. Just before ISA had fallen, the place where she was going to fall had nothing but the gray asphalt of a parking lot. A number of Suimei teachers parked there. Well, I just willed it out of existence. So how had the flower bed just appeared there? Had I done that? I'm thinking so, buddy. We took a life long ago when we were young, but now we've saved one. It was true that at the time I'd been so frightened that I had a delusion about how a flower bed appearing below her could save her. But even then, was it really possible? Was it really possible that the delusion had become reality? Okay, hold up. Let's consider it. First, I had a feeling that I might or might not have special powers. Second, there was that time that ISA had split in two. And now, I just experienced something similar to that. And there was also that, like, weird... I mean, we saw it from ISA's perspective, where she was, like, in that evil red sky world or whatever. And then she, like, fell through the gate or whatever, I guess. But we saw that she was just standing there anyway. Like, it was very strange. So, creating a flower bed in an instant. How could I have achieved something that extraordinary? I didn't even have a dye sword. I don't need it. And on top of that, the flower bed had continued to exist even after ISA had crashed onto it. I really couldn't have thought of anything better than a flower bed. Not like a bunch of like super ultra fluffy pillows. Like, come on. When the teachers had rushed to check on her in the flower bed, their footprints had been visible. The flowers blooming there, which appeared to be the same ones as the courtyard, had been trampled over by the emergency services. When I looked, a number of flowers had either been flattened or had their stems completely bent. And the flower bed might have still been there in that state. A delusion had become reality, and it stayed that way. It hadn't disappeared afterward, which made it different from ISA's other self. God, we're awesome. And everyone had accepted the idea that the flower bed being there was only natural. Yeah, that's another thing. No one said a damn thing about it. No one even questioned it. Had I seriously done all that?
Oi.
Oh no. Senna, no, please. Don't hurt me. And just immediately, a sharp voice called for me from behind. Before I even got a chance to turn around, a hand grabbed me by the collar. Helped me. With no chance to resist, I was shoved violently against the playground equipment. Stop it! No! Help! I'm being assaulted! I groaned in pain as my back hit the equipment hard. Why? Stop it. Oh, why is it doing... Well, obvious. No. Oh, God. Well, obviously, because it's Senna, we have to do this. Because, like, I mean, that last one, the one with the feet, that was just way too good. And let me escape my reality from this situation right now. I like how she saw that, too. It was her, Senna. She was the one tossing me around. She continued gripping my collar with tremendous strength. God, why are you so strong? Probably because I have muscle atrophy. It grew hard to breathe. I tried to fight back by squirming and flailing with my arms, but she refused to let go. She could probably just one-hand me, to be honest. Her eyes were filled with a sharp, murderous light. It sent a shiver down my spine. Thinking I was about to die, I shook my head in desperate denial. Oh my God, why? Don't do any of that at all. You're just pissing her off. You don't want to piss this woman off. She could kill us in any moment. Oh God, here we go. Why do I do things? Okay, the wibbly wobbly. I could feel Senna's breath on my cheeks. That's already weird. Watch. We're gonna get the timestamp at this to skip this entire delusion. Nah, fuck you guys. Just the thought of her only needing to move a bit closer to rip my throat out with her teeth genuinely terrified me. Well, what if that doesn't terrify me? What if that makes it better? Staring at me at point blank range, Senna. Jesus Christ. Damn, she getting in there in this delusion. I felt something soft press against my lips. I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was that I couldn't breathe, and I was getting real dizzy. I tried to push myself off of her, but Senna was still grabbing my chest, and so I couldn't move. Something began wriggling lustfully against my lips, and then it penetrated my mouth. It twisted roughly around my tongue, slid across my gums, and violated me orally. Then the sexy music comes on. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew was, for some reason, it felt really good. But I was having trouble breathing. I was about to pass out. But just before I would have, the wriggling object left my mouth. Oh my God. It's so weird to see her like, well, one, making out with us, and two, like this. Senna's lips glistened with saliva. She had been staring at me with murderous eyes only a few moments ago, but now her eyes looked utterly enchanted. Wait, had she just kissed me? Damn right. Oh my God. I feel okay. After rattling off that insanity in an angry voice, Senna brought her face to mine once again. Jesus Christ, woman. She pressed her lips madly against mine and violated my mouth. Her hot breaths and sweet saliva trickled past my lips. Yes, I'm sure it tastes very sweet considering what she eats all the time. Oh my God, I want to die, but I love it at the same time. In a state of pure ecstasy, she rattled off line after line that made me think, what eroge is this? God damn it. How do we do that? Yeah, do we like just kill? I mean, oh, hold up, she bit my lip. Senna's teeth sank deeply into my lip. Pain shot through me, and the taste of blood spread inside my mouth. Oh, damn! Did she have any idea how to ask someone anything? Even if she did, everything she said was completely absurd. But the sensation of basically getting reversed and, well, to be blunt, I was hard as a rock. Don't say that! I could get into this kind of roleplay. Oh, thank God.
Oi, 無視するな。
Hold that thought. I want to go back in time. I'm very curious as to see what the... Look, if you wanted to skip that part, I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm going to go back and see what the other delusion was and make that the canon ending. I mean, think about it. I never do the bad ones too much, so I might... Oh, and why is it not wibbly wobbly now? I could feel Senna's breath on my cheeks. Okay, same thing. She was so close she could rip out my throat. Yeah. Why was this girl so violent and terrifying? And why does it make me feel things? Okay, now it's wibbly wobbly. Okay, here we go. I ain't gonna do this every time. I'm just curious, because that one was, you know, it is what it is. You can't, like, escape her grasp. Are you kidding me? Oh. Okay, never mind. Wait. I flailed my arms around as hard as I could, and I inadvertently ended up slapping Senna on the cheek. Ow. Damn, we just wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube manned her and knocked her to the ground. The impact sent her backward, and she fell to the ground hard. Oh dear. She pressed her hand against her head and looked up at me. Long gone was the endless confidence from a few moments ago. All there was fear. Her eyes were moist. Well, you slapped her good. The sight of this never-before-seen vulnerability, it's lit a sadistic fire in me like no other. Oh, no. And the frustration that had been building inside me had at last found a way to escape, and now it could flow out all at once. I don't like this. I want to go back to the other one. Okay, you ain't tough. She could beat your ass no matter what. I'm just saying. Like, this is a delusion, so it is what it is. My words were undeniably aggressive. They were words I would never normally use, but I had said them to her. Yeah, you used them on the baddest bitch out there? You kidding me? And it felt good. Refreshing, even.
悪かった。でも、
Say.
叩くなんて、ひどいだろ。
Say it again. Senna looked like she was about to cry, something that only fueled me even more. The way she was slumped down on the floor. Oh, no, don't look at her everything. The way her skirt was hiked up further on her legs, exposing more of her thighs. Skin that could normally be seen. The way her long black hair flowed down and spilled outward on the ground. All of it made me frisky. All of it. Can I not be here anymore?
僕がやられてばかりだと思ったのか。
I would have hoped so, yes.
確かに見た目は明らかに弱そうだもんな、僕は。
You are
明らかなドキュンを相手にするより、僕みたいな弱そうなやつをいじめる方が楽だし、楽しいだろう。
You are very weak.
調子に乗り上がって。
Jesus.
僕だって、やるときはやるんだぞ。このビッチが。いつまでも黙ってばかりだと思うなよ。
Uh-huh. I could not stop the rage swelling within me. I wanted to mess this arrogant slut up even more. God damn. Why? I got on top of Senna, who was still lying on the ground. What, are you like straddling her? What are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. Are you just gonna beat the shit out of her? Like, what are you doing? I grabbed both her wrists, pinning her down. Oh, no. Oh, no, it's just the evil music. Having locked her in place, she looked up at me from directly beneath me. Until now, she'd always been looking down on me. Well, who's looking down on who now, bitch? This feeling of superiority made me almost dizzy.
やめろよ。話せ。
Yeah, you tell him. Her phrasing was as blunt as ever, but her voice lacked any actual power. Was she crying? Well, she was no match for me, a man, in terms of pure strength. That's bullshit, by the way. What else can she do? Dude, you are the weakest bitch in this game. I bet even fucking Band-Aid Girl can beat your ass.
頼むこんなこと
I'm,
やめろ
I'm just saying.
お願い
I couldn't hold back my laughter. Now I was the one in control. Can it, like, cut away and go back to reality, please? I could do whatever I wanted with her. I never knew there existed such a wonderful world. Why had I never done this before? What had I been so afraid of? I'd been a fool for keeping a fruit so sweet locked away for so long.
たっぷり可愛がってやるよ。
Oh my god, what? That is so much worse.
おい無視するな
That is so much worse than the last one. Dude, beat his ass. Like, I know he hasn't done anything, like, because it was just a delusion. He's a crazy person. But just beat his ass for that. I guess that's canon now. That's the one he had. When I returned to my senses, instead of being on top of Senna, she was still grabbing at my chest and pushing me against the playground equipment. Oh, God. I was somewhat confused about how the turns have been tabled suddenly.
その力のことを誰に教わったんだって聞いているんだ
I didn't remember her asking anything like that. Maybe the scenario from earlier was just a delusion I'd used to escape reality? Maybe. Fucked up one, but it is what it is. Despite me still trying to wrap my head around the situation, Senna started shaking me violently. Yeah, shake him like a baby! Oh,
誰からだ答えろ
her eyes narrow.
転生振興会とは関係あるのかないのか
The what? Hold up. Wait a minute. I pitched the wrong thing. A newly founded religion. Inaugurated in 1930s, their public estimation places their number at followers of at 5 million, but the actual number is thought to be closer to 2 million. Its members are categorized by their ardent, forceful proselytism, which often causes repeated trouble for anyone involved. I don't know what any of that told me nothing. Divine Church of the what? I shook my head reflexively. I can't breathe. You're choking me. I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna die. I'm done for. You know what? I'm okay with this outcome. Oh, he is dead. Nice. Oh, ooh, no. Just before I lost consciousness, Senna suddenly let go of me, and I collapsed to the ground. See, this is how strong she is. She was just grabbing you by the scruff and just fucking strangled you. And you're damn right. I kept on coughing, struggling desperately to get oxygen in my lungs. Contrary to the delusion I just had, I was in a hopeless situation. The true canon ending. Was Senna my enemy after all? Was she another one of Shogun's underlings? No. If she was, then I had to run. Dude, you have no
関係ない
way.
ならいい悪かった
Oh. Okay. If you're not one of them. Noticing my confusion, Senna clicked her tongue lightly, then let out a sigh. And then, without another word, she went to leave. Like how she, like, immediately went to... She knew. She knows. Guess she wasn't gonna hurt me? Then... Oh, God. Mustering up all my courage, I called after her. I'd expected her to ignore me, but instead she stopped and turned around. Her expression remained stern, but she still looked like she was willing to listen to what I had to say.
力って何なの
Senna knew something. Of course she does, She'd asked me if I'd created the flower bed from before. Everyone but me had recognized the flower bed as something that had always been there, but that didn't seem to apply to Senna. That's because she can see. She can see.
さっきの花壇どうなって
お前が妄想したんだろ
A delusion. I had, but like...
妄想は現実にすることが可能だ
Yes.
本当じゃないものが景色に紛れ込むつまりエラーを現実として認識させる
Yes.
でも視界に映すだけじゃそれって幻でしかないよ
It's definitely not in this case. Illusions were nothing more than that. Illusions, fake stuff you perceived as real. If the flower bed had just been an illusion, then ISA shouldn't have survived. The only way ISA would have been saved was if the flower bed hadn't been a delusion, but entirely real.
世界の
Yes.
仕組みは3つの数字で全て説明できる。0と1、そしてマイナス1。
Oh my god.
ディソードはそのマイナス1を生み出すためのショートカットになる。だがお
Okay.
前はディソードなしでそれをやった。
So, you need a die sword usually to do something like that? I guess so. I guess we are truly special. Takumi. God damn it. There she goes again. More incomprehensible garbage. Wait, but I realized that what Senna was telling me wasn't just some schizo shit she'd come up with. The VR technology patent did exist after all, so that wasn't BS. Senna definitely knew things that I didn't.
いいか、これ以上エラーを作るな。それがお前のためだ。
I can't make any promises.
それと他にもエラーを見たら教えろ。
Okay, I'll do just that, madam, without letting me even get a word in edgewise. Senna blasted me with thing after thing, most of which sounded like threats. And then, when she was finally done, she turned her back to me.
目に見えるものだけを信じられることがどんなに幸せか。
True. After spitting out one last murmur, this time, Senna finally left the park. Jesus Christ. That was an entire mess. Dude, I need to go to the hospital after that. In fact, we need to be in a mental hospital. We've needed one a long time ago. Are we going to see ISA? The floor of AH Tokyo General Hospital that housed the psychiatric ward was engulfed in silence. There's normally tons of people here. Ever since the earthquake had struck, the emergency room and the surgical ward had been faced with a difficult situation. Injured citizens who had lost consciousness due to unexplained symptoms were being carried into the clinic one after the other. The psychiatric ward, meanwhile, was not nearly as involved in the relief efforts, nor were the outpatient facilities, allowing the latter department to conclude its operations even earlier than usual. Over the last few days, patients suffering from PTSD had come pouring in, but at least for today, the psychiatric ward had finished all of its outpatient appointments. Oh, hey. A nurse there, Hazuki Shino, realized that she'd been working nonstop ever since her shift began the night before, and she had hardly even taken a break. This obviously left her feeling quite exhausted, and of course, hangry. The psychiatric ward had recently lost one of its doctors, in the NewGen incidents, and the person replacing him had yet to arrive, leaving them constantly understaffed. Dude, that sucks. However, despite the shortage, all that remained for today's work was some minor chores that Hazuki could pass off to the next nurse, allowing her to take some time off. Reassuring herself that she only had to persevere a little bit longer, Hazuki slapped her cheeks with both hands and began to walk through the empty lobby. You got this, girl. Only to suddenly feel a gaze on her back. Oh no, whose eyes are those? Chills ran down the nape of her neck. Goosebumps rose across her skin. She reflexively looked behind her, but all she saw was a silent corridor. Not a soul was there. That's kind of creepy. I don't like any of that.
看護師さん
Oh? Don't scare her, Jesus. Hazuki jumped in surprise. She had heard a voice from an entirely different direction. The origin of the voice was a single man standing in the lobby, which Hazuki had been convinced was empty. He had called out to her the moment he first saw her. Oh, there, yeah, I thought it was him. It sounded like it. Dude, I hate in hospitals and shit when you look down and it's just a dark corridor and with the lights, like, they're on, but they're not enough. And you're like, oh, God. He was a fairly young man and appeared quite virile. Oh, you damn right he is. His complexion was nearly faultless, and he looked just as, if not more healthy.
あなたは
ちょっと時間もらっていいっすか
はあ
どうもっす
I guess. I don't wanna. He smiled awkwardly, abruptly grabbed Hazuki's arm, and started walking her from the lobby toward the stairs. Hazuki, still quite bewildered, watched as the man, Suwa Momoro, took out a black ID badge from his pocket and humbly held it out to her. It was a police badge. Uh-huh. With the police department, I'm a detective. Stopping at the landing of the staircase, Suwa looked around carefully. He seemed to be very concerned with his surroundings.
それでお話って
I mean, I'd be very about, my surroundings because of all that has happened. Still having quite a bit of work left to do, Hazuki was feeling slightly restless, something Suwa seemed to understand implicitly. And then, without any form of introduction, Suwa produced a photo from his pocket.
この少年に見覚えないっすか?
No. Depicted in the photo was the apathetic face of Nishijo Takumi. God damn it. Kazuki, confident in her ability to recognize faces due to her profession, nodded her head.
西条匠間違いないっすか?
ええでも
Hazuki's hesitation was only natural. Leaking a patient's private information could only spell trouble, even if it was the police. But this was something Suwa had been aware of prior to speaking with Hazuki. Suddenly, Suwa's light attitude that he'd been displaying up until that moment shifted to a far more serious one, and he began to speak in a low voice.
頼みがあるんすけど
Oh no.
西条匠のカルテこっそり見せてもらえないっすか?
No, don't look at him. You're gonna see how mentally fucked he is.
そんなの無理です。できません。
I like how he even was like under the table.
とある事件に関わる重要なことなんすよ
Come on. Now at a complete loss for words, Hazuki tried to leave, but Suwa circled around her and blocked her path.
困ります。
Not if they don't find out.
迷惑はかけないっすだから頼ませよ
Is he like bowing? Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's getting on his knees. As a last resort, Suwa got down on his knees.
やめてください。本当に無理なんです。
これ以上犠牲者を出さないためにも
Oh god. Hazuki had no idea what she could do to make him give up. Unable to think of any proper way to say no, Hazuki could do nothing but stammer. That's great. Just another thing on my list to worry about. Oh my god. I want to be here forever. I just don't want to leave anymore. I don't want to see nobody or nothing. I mean, I'm always okay, listen, you want to know the real reason? You want to know the real reason why I went back to the other Senna Delusion? I wanted more Senna time, okay? That's all I wanted. Shut your goddamn mouth. I love her. It's like we barely interact with her, but I like seeing her. I was in a bit of a daze after Senna left, but to be honest, I quickly regretted my decision to do the bad Delusion. But I quickly shook myself out of it and dashed all the way to my base. Luckily, I hadn't been confronted by Shogun or Yua on the way. In the end, I'd come back home without finding Remy. Where is Remy? With all the insanity caused by ISA and the earthquake, the school probably let everyone go home early. Well, why didn't she answer? She's supposed to be there for us. So maybe if I waited a bit, Remy would show up. In the meantime, though, I'd just have to suck it up and deal with my own fear alone and not be a big old bitch. To be fair, it's warranted. To distract myself from my growing anxiety, I went to try and gather information on my freshly restored PC. We gotta get our bookmarks back. Right as I thought that, the notification light on my phone, which had been set right next to my monitor, started blinking. Oh? When I opened it, I saw that I received a text. I thought it was Remy trying to contact me, but when I opened it, I don't want to see it. I don't like when it's... What the fuck? Oh, god damn it. Wait. Oh my god, it's Nanami. Something crazy happened at school today. There was a suicide attempt. It was so scary. I hadn't been that scared in a while, Sniffle. Hope she's okay. Were you at school when it all went down, big bro? And oh wow, that earthquake was really crazy too. It gave me a really, really, really bad headache though. So yeah, that happened to everybody. What was that all about? Question mark. So she kind of enjoyed being part of the spectators, huh? That's not fucked up at all. Naturally, I didn't send a reply. Okay. I don't think she didn't say, man, I really enjoyed all that. God damn it. He just automatically, because it's his sister, just automatically is like, what'd she say? She's a piece of shit? Alright. I searched online for information on ISA. Phantasm's official homepage was still down, and none of the newspapers had reported on her either. Well, I guess they had their hands full with the earthquake, so they couldn't really spend the time reporting on some random indie singer suicide attempt. Where things were now, I had no way of figuring out how exactly ISA was doing, so I switched topics. There was way more information on the earthquake than when I checked earlier. Apparently, the death count had risen to 118, and the injured were above 300. Jesus! I never thought the fatalities would go beyond 100. The epicenter of Shibuya was Shibuya, and it seemed the damage hadn't spread outside of it. It'd been a seismic intensity 5 quake. According to the one article, most of the magnetic media within Shibuya had been destroyed. Okay, when I thought about how I wasn't the only one to experience such a tragedy, it made my frustration erupt all over again. It was a true, undeniable tragedy. My treasured Moe pics, my Edoge save data, they would never come back. That aside, I couldn't help but feel this was no normal earthquake. Well, you got a headache, you get a flash of light, you got a nuke going off in the sky, like shit's going crazy. 118 people dying wasn't normal. And of course, that abnormality had grown into a hot topic of discussion online. Oh no. Did it just say educate yourself at the top? God, I hate people. Name strange. Okay, let's see. You guys think the earthquake was caused by whose eyes? I'm done. Jesus Christ, how were they all such uncaring assholes? You know what's sad though? This is how it actually is. People don't give a fuck about anything or anybody unless it's involving them. It is what humans are selfish, okay? Yeah, obviously we have people that are empathetic and show sympathy. I myself do that all the time. I'm not saying I'm a better person. I'm just saying, just in general, from what I've seen, you just see more people who are just they don't care. God damn it. I tried to think back to what happened during the earthquake. First, I've been hit by a tremendous impact. My head felt like it was boiling. Yeah, that was another it wasn't just any ordinary headache. Exploding even, a sensation I never felt before. Getting hit by something that bad, dying from shock wouldn't be all that surprising. Telling myself that I shouldn't stick to just the internet, I decided to watch some news on the TV as well. My PC had a TV tuner attached to it. What? So that was why I didn't have nor need any actual TV. Where's my tuner? This is bullshit.
現在までに死者118名、重軽傷者300名以上と非常に多くの犠牲者が出ていることが分かっています。
That is so many people.
さて、渋谷の駅前と中継がつながったようです。島谷さん、現地の様子はいかがですか？
2005年に同じように震度5の地震が東京であったんですよ。その時はゼロで、なぜ今回は100名以上の被害者が出ているんですか？
Yeah, see, you're right.
被害者の数は震度に比例するわけじゃないんです。そこには様々な要因がありまして。
And then I'm done. Changing
亡くなった方の死因や病院に運ばれた負傷者の容体については未だ詳しい情報が入っておりません。また渋谷区を中心に磁気メディアが全壊してしまっていることについて今日は専門家にお越しいただいております。
地質学産業研究所より林原泰造先生、財団法人地質調査環境センターより小沢幹人先生にお越しいただきました。
Please help us, geology man.
林原さん、今回の地震について磁気メディアに深刻な被害が出た原因というのはどういうところにあるんでしょうか？
まず知っておいていただきたいのは、渋谷区あたりの地下200メートル付近には磁鉄鉱、つまり天然の磁石が多く埋蔵されている地層があるということですね。
Is that true?
地層の分類としては火成岩層ですが、私たちはこのエリアを磁鉄鉱の谷、マグネタイトバレーと呼んでいます。
I almost said Magnemite Valley.
地中にある磁石の谷ですね。文字通りかなり大規模な岩脈なんですよ。ここにですね、今回の地震のような大きな刺激が加わったとするならば、その影響で地上に存在する磁生態、主に磁気メディアの持つ記録部に、致命的なダメージを与えてもおかしくはないんです。
Makes sense to me.
何をバカな。
小沢先生は別の意見ですか？
Oh no.
確かに渋谷の地下には巨大なマグネタイトの岩脈があることは事実です。
Okay.
ですが、磁石と呼ぶにはあまりにも微弱なこのマグネタイト群にはですね、地上の磁気モーメントや安定磁場を崩すほどの力はないというのが通説になっています。
Oh, so it's not even strong.
実際ですね、過去にも震度5の地震は何度も発生しています。過去のそれらの地震では今回のような被害はなかった。なので原因は別にあるのではないかと考えるのが妥当だと思います。そうは言うがね、今回の異常な犠牲者数についてはただの地震では片付けられない何かがあるのが事実なわけであり、
All we have are theories. We don't know what the fuck's going on.
渋谷にいた人のほとんどが頭痛がしたって訴えてることからも間違いなく磁鉄鉱が関係している可能性が。地場ごときで100人も殺せると主張するおつもりですか？
Oh my god.
それではここで CM です。
Yup, when it gets too crazy, that's when they're like,
結局
alright.
詳しいことは何もわからずか。
Yup. Right after the earthquake, there had been a huge white mist floating above Shibuya. It turned the sky completely white, and yet it hadn't even been mentioned on the news. When the information had been fresh, everyone made sure to report on it. But now they were acting like it never happened. Something about that just felt wrong. Why is it? Okay, bye. Oh no. He's sleuthing. The off-hours entrance to AH Tokyo General Hospital featured an area where ambulances could pull up alongside the building in order to deliver emergency patients. 2 ambulances were currently parked there, and paramedics were carrying those injured during the earthquake into the hospital. A doctor wearing light green surgical scrubs and the middle-aged head nurse accompanying him were loudly directing the paramedics through the process. The area around the off-hours entrance was already lined with patients waiting to receive treatment, the sheer number of which indicating how busy the doctors truly were. There were 2 types of patients getting carried into the hospital. First, the ones suffering from physical trauma. Patients would come in with blood flowing from their arms, legs, and foreheads, their face contorted in pain. While their state made them difficult to look upon, their treatment had been relegated to low priority. Wow. The other type was those who were unconscious despite showing no signs of physical trauma. These patients were prioritized. The number of unconscious people was awfully high among the emergency patients brought in from this particular earthquake. Such a high number had not been observed following the previous major earthquakes. It was an entirely new phenomenon. Moreover, the doctors were unable to explain the reason why so many of them had fallen unconscious. God, this is just all it's absolutely insane. Well, I was like, was that what I heard? Another ambulance arrived at the hospital, its siren blaring loudly. Oh. Hello? When the emergency responders disembarked from the ambulance, a doctor asked the patient's condition, and a paramedic immediately responded with, oh shit. That's all it took. In a normal situation, the doctor would have protested, asked for more information. In such an unprecedented, chaotic situation, one would have expected that just shouting top priority would be answered by a succinct, you don't say. Who is it? And yet, surprisingly, both the doctor and the head nurse merely gave a light nod and then proceeded to help unload the stretcher from the ambulance. The person lying on the stretcher was Kushimoto Ayase. Of course it is. She was unconscious, yet faint moans escaped her lips. Oh, don't say anything, I say, even in your unconscious mind. Paying no mind to the resentful gazes of the injured patient sitting around the entrance, the doctor and paramedics hurriedly carried the stretcher inside the hospital. Oh, Remy! She's there! A girl stood at the hospital's main entrance, observing the situation from a distance. Sakihata Remy's, oh, thank you, brain, eyebrows furrowed atop her stern expression. Her teeth sank into her lips. Well, at least we know Remy's okay. Was she there for ISA specifically, or was she just there? Did she go on the ambulance with her? I mean, we didn't see her that whole time. Listen, there's even more going on with that girl than meets the eye. We already know.